Shavuot Tov, B'Shem Hashem Naseh v'Natzliach. May the learning that we do today, may it be in the Zechut of Am Yisrael, the Chayalim and the Chatufim, the soldiers and the people that are still held in captivity. Now, Rabotai, before I do start, everybody knows I was davening this past week, and there was somebody in davening, and he said, did you hear that 21 Israeli soldiers had died? Some say it was 24, 21, doesn't matter, but it's a lot of people, whether it's 21 or whether it's 24, even if it's one, it's a lot of people. Now, Rabotai, when I look at such a number, 21, how is it possible that we still go about our lives with all the casualties that are happening in Eretz Yisrael? That means 21 mothers, or 24, doesn't matter, Rabotai, 21 mothers are left without their sons. 21 wives are widows. How many more children amongst all of them just became orphans from their father? How many of them lost their father? Now, Rabotai, it's very hard for me to sit here and try to understand Hashem's ways, because I'll never understand Hashem's ways, and it's not my job to understand Hashem's ways. But Rabotai, we need to pinpoint why, or better yet, what does Hashem want from us? And we continue living our lives as everything is okay and nothing is happening. And today I want to share with you something very, very, very fortunate, very unfortunate what's going on in the world with the way we as men are behaving, whether it's because of our wives, our children. I'll show you what I mean. But Rabotai, we have to step up a notch. We men must step up a notch. As you'll see once I read for you what the Rav Chaim has to bring over here. We need to understand that Rabotai, Hashem wants something from us. He is the one who's doing everything. He's controlling everything and anything. Nothing happens in this world without Him decreeing it to happen first. So I don't understand. What are we doing wrong, Rabotai? Aren't we doing teshuvah? Aren't we improving? Aren't we giving more tzedakah? Isn't there more learning Torah going on? I mean, why? What are we not doing? Rabotai, when I open up the Chumash on Erev Shabbat, I found an Rav Chaim Igal that, speaks about what's going on in today's day and age. Today everybody knew today's Az Yashir, Parshat Aman, everybody spending thousands of dollars, if not hundreds, whatever you guys spent, right? Everybody wants a miracle to happen in his life, so he's going to buy the splitting of the sea. Somebody wants Parnas, he's going to buy the man, the part of the aliyah for the man. But how many of us paid attention to aliyah shvi'i, to the seventh aliyah? Rabotai, the Rav Chaim Igal specifically is talking about war. But Rabotai, this can also apply not in time of war, and I'll show you how. People have problems, whether it's financial problems, whether it's health problems, Rabotai, wife problems, with children, Rabotai, with schools, Rabotai, all types of problems. But today I want to show you, Rabotai, this specifically is going, especially what's going on today. Today, Mamish in Eretz Yisrael, but this can apply to everything. It doesn't have to be necessary that you are there and you hear it does not apply to you. No, this applies, Rabotai, through and through. You have to remember, Kol Yisrael Arevim Zelazeh, each and every single Jew is responsible for the other Jew. So yes, Rabotai, it does hurt me when I see our men, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Or because they tell me they're fake, or I want to, excuse the language, or they're baloney excuses. Oh, my wife needs me at home. My children need me. Rabotai, I don't understand. The situation in Israel is getting out of control. Somebody told me Iran is coming, Syria is coming, I don't know, Hezbollah is starting. Rabotai, do you think it's going to end over there? It's not going to end over there, Rabotai. These things don't end. until we, the Jewish people, do not wake up and do complete teshuvah and start changing, it's not going to end, Rabotai. Hashem wants to wake us up, and still we are taking it easy. Rabotai, listen to this. Let me read for you, and you guys can decide for yourselves what's right or wrong. We need to realize that with our actions, we can help Eretz Yisrael. We can help the Jewish people living in Israel or anywhere else in that fact. But Rabotai, if we're not doing what we're supposed to do, because of us, people are dying. And here we are outside of Israel. We're okay with the whole situation. We're fine with what's going on. Let's make our parties. Let's do this. Let's go have a good time. Where are we going to go next? What am I going to eat tomorrow? But Rabotai, why aren't we concerned for them? And I want to show you today, Rabotai, why this is happening. It's happening because of every single man out there that's not doing his job. And I'll show you what the job is. It's not my words, Rabotai. It's the Rav Chaim Igal. Rabotai, enough is enough. I understand. We come in, day out. We come to shul, we daven. We think we learn. I'll show you, Rabotai, we don't learn. We think we learn. We think, Rabotai, believe me, we think we're learning. That's not learning, Rabotai. I'm going to show you what means learning. Yes, you might be doing something. It's better than nothing, like the people want to say. But now is not the time to speak like that. It's better than nothing. Now is the time, Rabotai, to put everything you got. And not to hold back from anything you're able to give. Leave no stone unturned, Rabotai. The situation is getting worse and worse by the day. But the problem is, you know what? It's not us, it's them. Rabotai, it can be us, chas v'shalom. It can come over here. And then what are you going to tell me? Oh, my wife didn't want me. Oh, my wife doesn't want me to go to the army. Rabotai, I want to ask you a simple question. These thousands of men that are fighting the war for Am Yisrael, look how much love they have for Am Yisrael. They're fighting the war for Am Yisrael. You want to tell me that their wives ask them, you want to go, you don't want to go? Rabotai, they have no choice and they go. But if you tell a guy to come learn Torah at night, come learn Torah during the day, I can't. With all their excuses. It's my wife, it's my child, it's that, it's this, it's my boy. Rabotai, enough with the excuses. Excuses will get you nowhere. Actually, it will get you somewhere. It's going to get you to the grave. That's where it's going to get you. Excuses won't get you anywhere, Rabotai. You messed up. You say I messed up, and you change the situation and become better. Don't make excuses. Let me read for you, Rabotai, what the Rav Chaim Igal says in the Aliyah of the Shvi'i. ויצאו כל הדת בני ישראל ממתברסין למעשיהם על פי השם ויחנו ברפידים ואין מים לשתות העם. The Jewish people traveled from Midbarsin, it's a place, למעשיהם, to their travelers, to the traveling, whatever they traveled, על פי Hashem, on the word of Hashem, ויחנו ברפידים. And they rested in Refidim, it's the name of a place. ואין מים לשתות העם. And the nation has no water to drink. Interesting, Rabotai, I don't understand, not me, Rabotai, the Rav Chaim Igal says, what does traveling have to do with the people not having any water to drink? And why specifically in the Fidim? That's point number one. Point number two, Rabotai, if we look towards the end of the Parsha, Vayavo Amalek vayilachem im Yisrael b'Refidim. And Amalek came and he waged war with the Jewish people in Refidim. Again, Rabotai, they landed in Refidim, whatever they were traveling, whatever they were traveling, they came to the Refidim, they had no water to drink, but now Amalek even attacked them in the Refidim. Out of all the places that they were traveling, they attacked them in the Refidim. Now you tell me, Rabotai, if this has nothing to do with our day and age, with what's going on today, Rabotai. The Rav Chaim Igal says like this, in Not Aleph, Vaychanu b'Refidim ve'en mayim. What is that? I don't get it. What does that have to do? And they rested in the Refidim, the place called Refidim, and there's no water. L'divrehem zal b'masechet Bechorot and Davei Amud Bet. Rabotai, what does it mean Rifidim. Here we go, Rabotai. En rifidim ela ripayon yadayim min haTorah. Here we go. Rabotai, the word rifidim, what we want to call it a certain place, like let's say New York or Queens, whatever you want to call it, it was not the place, the rifidim. He says, if you look into Masechet Bechorot, in Davei Amud Bet, you know what means rifidim? You could make two words out of that one word of rifidim. It means rifayon yada min haTorah. The Jews, they weakened their hands from Torah. They weren't studying Torah the way they were supposed to. Yechaver HaKatul Omar, the Pasuk wanted to tell you, כשרפו ידיהם מן התורה, שנמשלו למים, לזה גם השם מנע מהם המים מידה כנגד מידה. Since they slackened, since they weakened their hands from learning Torah, which is compared to water, that's why Hashem held back the water from them. Mida keneged mida, like said Masechet Tanit, water is compared to Torah. Now, Rabotai, over here we're going to speak about war, but this applies to everything. To a person why he has parnasa problems, why he has shalom bayit problems, why he has problems with everything, is because he slacks in learning Torah. Now you might tell me, oh Rabbi, I do this, I learn this, I do this, I do this. No, the fact that I do this. When was the last time you took a pen and you wrote? When was the last time you highlighted? When was the last time you ever reviewed what the Rabbi taught you? What you're doing is just educating yourself. Is that considered learning? We'll see, Rabotai. I'm going to read for you, Rabotai. I'm going to read everything today. Hashem. Inside, sure, people should know and they should have it. Now, so we see from over here, the reason why they settled in Rifidim, comes the Or HaChaim HaKodesh and tells you, what is the place where they settled in Rifidim have to do with no water to drink? He tells us very simply, since they slacked in learning Torah, Hashem did midi connected midi, he took away water from them. Which can also mean parnas, like we say in Barech Aleinu, V'ten tal u'matar levracha. Matar is rain. We also ask Rabotai, because matar, rain, if there's no rain, there's no crops, there's no wheat, there's no fruits, people are going to die. Look at Masechet Tanit, it speaks about all the things chasam, if there's no rain, how much people have to start fasting. Look, it's a whole Gemara, I don't want to get into it right now. Rabotai, let's continue towards the end, a little bit towards the end. When it says, again, Amalek came and it waged battle with the Jewish people in the Rifidim. Same thing. Comes the Or HaChaim HaKodesh and he says, being the fact that they were lazy when it comes to learning Torah, which is compared to water, and Maim Elo Torah. It's simple, Rabotai. That's why it's not understood how you have people that they go about their lives not learning Torah. How do you not learn Torah, Rabotai? It's like take a fish out of its water and tell them, go ahead, you good. Here, take bread, take the... How do you survive without Torah? Torah is our life force. So, he says over here that the Torah is compared to water and also ula'esh, and also to fire. Like it says in Yirmiyah Perek Chav Gimel Pasuk Chav Tet, Kod divari ka'esh. Hashem says, my word is like fire. Velonit asku b'melchamta shel Torah. The reason why Amalek came and he waged war of what's going on today, Rabotai, is because they did not delve, they did not toil in the war of Torah. What do you mean war of Torah? Rabotai, you know what means war of Torah? Did you ever take something, I don't know, Rabotai, did you ever have something to do and it was very difficult for you until you understood it, until you got it, until you asked another person, until it made sense to you? Sometimes things are difficult to put together. Rabotai, when was the last time you took a Gemara, Shulchan Aruch, or anything you were learning, and it was hard for you, and like you were fighting with yourself to try to understand what the Peshat is? That, Rabotai, is Milchamta Shel Torah. When you try to understand what does Rashi want? What does the Gemara want? What does Tosfot want? What does the Rishonim want? What does the Achroni want? Did you ever learn like that, Rabotai? Or no, Rabotai? I see how people learn. Now, Rabotai, I'm not judging nobody. I'm just trying to bring out over here, Rabotai, if we want to be able to make a new generation, which starts with us, we have to show them the right derech. I was in a certain place, I see people, the rabbi is giving a shiur, the people are eating. I don't know how people are able to eat and chew when the mind is focused on chewing and swallowing and digesting. How are you able to listen to the rabbi? Rabotai, I don't know if you would have a business meeting, you would behave the same way. You would behave that same. You would have cereal in your hand, bagel with cream cheese, egg and cheese, sushi, pizza. It's all nice to bring you guys closer, Rabotai. But look what's going on. Look what's going on. What does Hashem want from us? We have to ask ourselves one question. What does Hashem want from us? Rabotai, you might tell me, oh, but you have people learning Torah. Rabotai, you could have people learning Torah, but Hashem wants collectively, Rabotai. Hashem wants the Jewish people as a whole to be learning Torah. There's a difference, Rabotai, when you have 1,000 people fighting a war versus if you have 500,000 people fighting a war. That's a very big difference, Rabotai. It's a bigger army. You're able to do much damage. Same thing with our learning Torah. When you have 1,000 people sitting learning Torah versus 500,000 people sitting learning Torah. Do you know what? We could shake the heavens. But no, Rabotai, we somehow find time for everything else but the Torah. I wait for the rabbi till Saturday so he can give me a 30-minute drasha. So he continues and he says over here, they did not toil in the war of the Torah. Listen to this, Rabbi, listen to this. For this, he inisham b'tzimaon keneged bichinat aman. That's why Hashem punished them with thirst. He didn't give them water. That's why people have problems with everything else, Rabbi. You want whatever you want to plug it in, plug it in. Parnas, health, chas v'shalom. With shalom bayit problems, with children problems, all in Rabbi. Whatever you want, plug it in, you can plug it in. Ube'esh, Rabotai, why? What means, and they were punished with H? Because like we said before, Rabotai, Hashem's Torah is like fire. Which is what, Rabotai? Where do you have fire? In war. Ube'esh, hamilchama shel Amalek. That's why the war came on the Jewish people. That's why Amalek attacked the Jewish people. For one reason only, because they slacked in learning Torah. Rabotai, you might tell me, Rabbi, we have a lot of places that there's some empty Torah. I don't disagree. I agree there's a lot of Torah. The question is, Rabotai, how many of us are learning the Torah? I'm not speaking about educating yourself. Oh, okay, I know halacha, mutar asur. How many of us are toiling in the Torah? The Rabbanim that give over the shiur, they toil, Rabotai. It takes them hours before they deliver one shiur. But what about the people that are sitting and listening? How many of them take notes? How many of them go back and review? How many of them go back and make sense out of what the rabbi said? Look into the Rashi, look into the Gemara, Shulchan Aruch, Rishonim, Achronim. Or like always, Rabotai, it's fine, Rabotai. Just tell me, nice Midrash, nice Agada, I'm good to go. Rabotai, we're not toiling enough. We have to toil much more in Torah. This Rabotai over here, there's also a clear cut which I do not want to touch right now. This Rabotai over here is Rav Chaim HaKodesh. He wants to tell you where the Rav Chaim HaKodesh says the reason why the Jews were thirsty, they had no water to drink, and the reason why Amalek came at them to fight, to wage a war, for one reason only and one reason only. And that's why, Rabotai, because they did not toil in the milcham, in the war of Torah. And that's what, Rabotai, today we have a real war that's going on. These guys, thousands, Rabotai, are fighting war. The least. I don't say the least. That's not the proper word. One thing we can do, Rabotai, is fight the war in the Torah. Get them in the Chacham and pay them to teach us. Learn with them a few good hours. Not 30 minutes, Rabotai. Not even 40, not even an hour, Rabotai. You want to feel the mitikut of Shal Torah. You know, I can't go against the Achronim, what they say. Mitikut Shal Torah comes after 4 or 5. Some want to say even 6 hours. I can't go against them. But why don't you try to learn straight, Rabotai? Try to learn straight one time in your life. 2 hours without any distraction. Without any phone, without any interruption, without any food. Try to really learn Torah. I'm telling you right now, Rabotai, you're going to get hooked on it. And it's going to be very hard for you to disattach yourself from the Torah. Because Torah is very beautiful. Now I want to show with you guys After I read the Rav Chaim Kodesh, I want to share with you, Rabotai, this Rav Chaim Kodesh. It's halacha in the Shulchan Aruch. And every single guy has to know this, Rabotai, and I understand that a lot of them complain, they Shalom Bayit, Shalom Bayit. I'm going to show you, Rabotai, today, how much of the Shalom Bayit can you already speak about, Rabotai? How much, what can you come on 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. What do you do till 12 o'clock? So you spend 1 hour with your children. You spend 1 hour with your wife. You ate. Hamar, Rabotai, you have 3 extra hours in the day. Some people I know they go to sleep 1, 2 o'clock. What are you doing till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning? I don't think you learn Torah, Rabotai. It can't be, Rabotai. If that was the case, there should have been a whole group, Rabotai, learning Torah with you. Why aren't there groups learning till late at night? Especially right now what's going on in Israel. The majority of the soldiers that they die, I heard one rabbi say, I think it was Rabbi Zilbert in Shlita, or one of the Rabbanim in Israel, majority of the soldiers that die, they die at night when people are sleeping, when the yeshivas are closed. Maybe we should learn till late at night. Rabotai, every single person has to ask a Sheila Rav, but I want to bring out the point over here. We need to start changing the way we learn Torah. It's not enough to come and listen to nice drasha. With all respect, it's beautiful. To listen to any shurim that you have, which is all nice and beautiful. People should take upon projects upon themselves to finish a Shulchan Aruch, a Mishnah Berurah, Yalkut Yosef. Something, Rabotai, something that you're going to break your head over. But not just to come, okay, checked in, checked out, that's it, I'm done, I'm good, I did my hour. Rabotai, the Shulchan Aruch in Simon Kuf Nun Hey, and also in Simon Resh Lamed Chet, I want to read for you, but I want to read for you Biur Halacha, because I don't think people realize the severity of not learning Torah at night, and the severity of altogether of the punishment that they bring upon themselves, their wives, and their children by not learning Torah, by doing bittul Torah, put it like that, by nullifying from learning Torah. When you have the capability to learn Torah, you have Rabbanim in the neighborhood, Baruch Hashem, you have all these Torah websites, you can go and learn Torah, and you're not doing it, Rabotai. Look what you bring upon yourself. I can't hide this, Rabotai. I can't hide it. I can't take these books, I can't erase them, Chas v'Shalom. This is the emet. The Shulchan Aruch says in Simon Kuf Nun Hey, אחר שיצא מבית הכנסת ילך לבית המדרש ויקבע את ללמוד. Rabotai, he says, after a person comes out of Beit Knesset, today our Beit Knesset is the base measures because we learn where we daven, etc. He says you should go to the study hall, doesn't matter, you're in the same place. V'ikba et lilmod. Shulchan Aruch says you have to establish a time to learn Torah. I don't know, you want to make this 1 hour, 30 minutes, 25 minutes, Rabotai. It's up to you. Rabotai, minimum you should try to make it an hour to try to get real good learning, Rabotai. That time has to be set. You should never pass over that time of learning Torah. Even if you're thinking you're going to profit, not you're going to take a loss. If you're going to profit a lot of money, you should not give of that time. But Rabotai, today, unfortunately, one occasion here, one occasion there, and I have to learn Torah. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. Bye-bye, Shabbat Shalom. Close the books. I have to go. They need me. Rabotai, I want to teach you something, Rabotai. Whether you're there, wherever you have to attend, whether you're not there, it's going to happen, with or without you. You're not the president of the world that you should be running to that occasion. Oh, they're waiting. Nobody's waiting for you, Rabotai. They're probably more happy if you don't come even. Rabotai, this is halach in the Shulchan Aruch in Simon Kuf Nun Hey. In Simon Reish Lamed Chet, the Shulchan Aruch says something, another Pesach halacha, for the people that think only learning Torah is in the morning but not at night. A person needs to be careful learning Torah at night more than he does than the day. Why? Not why. One who nullifies learning Torah at night, his punishment is great. Rabotai, if you have time, ask your rabbi. I don't want to go through the whole thing right now. Look over there, Rabotai, what happens that a person, there's no words heard in the house, etc. The fire is going to consume that house. Or if a person, Rabotai, does not increase from Tu B'Av on, he does not increase, etc. He says over here, the punishment, let me see over here. Oh, here, let me do it right here. So like this. What does it mean, Osher Meru? What does it mean that his punishment is great? Again, the reward is even greater, Rabotai, but listen what the punishment is. Osher Meru, ukidamrinin, kol bash en divrei Torah nishuim bo balal. Any house where there's words Torah that are not heard there at night, esh ochal tu. Fire is going to consume that house. Hashem lo shalom da. It doesn't have to be in the house per se, but it could be in the base measures, meaning that the father has an obligation to learn Torah, or even the children. Rabotai, listen to this carefully. It says in Perakama of Avot, Udolom Mosif Yasef. Hainu Udolom Mosif Lalmod Balala Mitu Be'av Elach. If anybody does not increase learning Torah from the 15th of Av and on, Yasuf Min Ha'olam. Rabotai, Hashem is going to take him before his time. Also, this halakha, Rabotai, is brought down in Yoredea that if a person does not increase from the 15th of Av and on, increasing in learning Torah, he'll get punished. He'll get punished more, meaning, Hashem says to Hashem, if you don't increase, he's going to take a person half of his life, he's not going to make it, he's going to remove him from this world. Why? Because he explains over there, as long as we, the Jewish people, are learning Torah, Am Yisrael is protected. When we stop learning Torah, Rabotai, we are in danger. So you're putting other people's life in danger. So Mida Keneged Mida, you put somebody's life in danger, Hashem put your life in danger by taking you away. Now, Rabotai, I want to read for you over here, Bi'ur Halacha, in Et Lemot, in Dibra Matchil Et Lemot. That's in Simon Kuv Nun Hey. He speaks about over here what a person has to do. But he says like this, Rabotai, he brings down over here like this. He says, Uba'avonotena Rabbim, in our great many sins, Kama Anashim Marpim Yedehem Min Torah, Ligamre. You have a few people, Rabotai, you have many people that they're slacking from learning Torah completely. Ve'enam chosheshim ligbo afilu zman muad biyom laTorah. They're not even concerned to make some time during the day to learn Torah. V'asiba, and the reason is, and the cause is, because people don't realize the great obligation that they have when it comes to learning Torah. Just like we understand davening is important, putting on tefillin is important, keeping Shabbat, not eating chametz on Pesach. Rabotai, you should know, learning Torah is no less. On the contrary, Rabotai, davening is from the rabbis. Learning Torah is from the Torah. It has a greater level. Ukvar amru Chazal, Rabotai, already Chazal, our rabbis have said of blessed memory, V'iter HaKadosh Baruch Hu al avon avodah zara, v'gilu arayot u'shefichut damim. Hashem is able to overlook. If a person did avodah zara, idol worship, v'gilu arayot, if he slept with a married woman, u'shefichut damim, or if a person killed somebody else, he murdered somebody else, Hashem can overlook these things. V'lo v'iter al avon bitul Torah. But Hashem cannot overlook the sin of not learning Torah, of nullifying time from learning Torah. When you're able to learn and you're not learning, Rabotai, that Hashem can never forgive. So you think the guy that's sleeping with a married woman is bad. You think what Hitler did is bad. You think the person that's bowed down to a cow is bad. But Rabotai, there, 3 of them, you're not close to anyone. You're even worse than all 3 of them. I'm not telling you you're allowed to do any one of those things. But when it comes to punishment-wise, Rabotai, you're worse than them. Ve'ita b'midrash Mishneh Parsha Yud, Amar Rabbi Shmuel said, Bo ur'eh kama kashe yomadim. Rabotai, come and see how difficult the judgment day is going to be. Which one of us is going to be able to tell Hashem, I did my best? I came, I listened to the Shur Rabbi. I did what I had to do. I listened to the Rabbi between Mincha and Arvit on Shabbat, how he spoke about Moshe Rabbeinu coming down 40 days, 40 nights. That I knew, Rabotai. Well, that's what Hashem expects from us. Rabotai, here we go. Sha'atit HaKadosh Baruch Hu ladun et kol ha'olam v'chulu. In the future, Hashem is going to judge the whole world. Ba mi sheyesh biyado mikro ve'en biyado mishnah. Comes a person who did Chumash, but he didn't do Mishnayot. HaKadosh Baruch Hu chofech et panav mimenu umatzrei gehenam mitgabarim bo, etc. Hashem is going to turn his face away from this person, and the powers of Gehenom, they're going to overpower him. Vehem notlin oto umashalchin oto legehenom. They're going to take this person that only learned Chumash and didn't learn Mishnah. They're going to take him and they're going to throw him and they're going to send him straight to Gehenom. Ba mishesh biyado shtei sidarim o shalosh sidarim. Come, Rabotai, person that did the Mishnah, a few sidarim, 2 or 3 sidarim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Omer lo, Hashem is going to tell him, Beni, my son, Kol ha'halachot lama lo shanito otam. Why didn't you learn all my other halachot? In Shulchan Aruch, Rabotai, in Shulchan Aruch alone, you have Or Chaim, Yordei, Even HaEzer, Choshen Mishpat. He expects you to know everything. Why didn't you learn all the halachot? Rabotai said the same thing. Hashem is going to turn his face and they're going to take him, they're going to send him straight away. But comes a person who only learns halachot. Amalo, Hashem is going to tell him, Beni, Torah Kohanim, Lama lo shanita. Why didn't you learn the laws of Kohanim? Right? We always, I would have to know about the Beit HaMikdash, what I have to know about the Karbanot. There you go, Rabotai. We as Jews are obligated to know everything. Rabotai, he says, Sheesh Baksero. Ba mi sheesh biyado Torah Kohanim. Somebody will come who learned the halachot of Kohanim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Omer lo, Beni chamisha chumashei Torah lama lo shanita. Why didn't you learn the Chumash? Sheesh bahem kriyish Shema, Tefillin, Mezuzah. The job over there, the reciting of the Shema, Tefillin, and the Mezuzah. Ba mi sheesh biyado chamisha chumashei Torah amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu lama lo lamadat Haggadah. Somebody who learns Chumash, why didn't you learn Haggadah? Ba mi sheesh biyado Haggadah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Omer lo Bini Talmud lama lo lamadata. Somebody who has Haggadah, Hashem is going to tell him, why didn't you learn Gemara? Rabotai, he says, why don't you look over there? You're going to see what? Rabotai, what? What am I going to answer, Rabotai? What are we going to answer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu after 120 years? I did my best. Rabotai, the people of this shaker, you do your best in business. You do your best when it comes to working out. You do your best when it comes to eating food. But when it comes to learning Torah, don't tell me you do your best. If you would do your best, you would become, Rabotai, the next Talmud Chacham. The next great Talmud Chacham. Why don't you put a little bit effort, see how much siyata the Shemai Hashem is going to give you. How much heavenly assistance He's going to give you. If a person is not going to hasten, he's not going to quicken himself to make for himself set times to learn during the day. Rabotai, I want to read this verse for you very clearly. Bevadai yishaer rekan mikol. For sure, you're going to be empty from everything. You could do this, you could do that, you could do you could do whatever you want. It's not about the words of the Bureau of the Chavetz Chaim. Chas v'sholom, Rabotai. He's going to be empty from everything. If you don't make at least an hour in the morning, an hour at night, you're going to be left empty of nothing, Rabotai. Now I'm talking about real learning. We're going to get there. What is a person going to answer on Judgment Day? If you think you have an answer, you should reconsider who you're dealing with. It's not your boss where you can lie to him. It's not a judge where you can bribe him. It's not your wife you can give her excuses. The Ribbon Shalom, the master of the universe. He knows everything that goes on in our hearts and our minds. You're not going to be able to run away from him. A smart person, basically his head should be on his shoulders. He should know what needs to be done. Rabotai, I want to touch upon something else also. Why did the Rav Chaim Igal have to say b'milchamta shel Torah? Now, Rabotai, Masechet Berachot in Daf Vav Amud Bet, it says that the Amar Rabbi Zera said, Agra dipirka rihita. Rabotai, listen to this very carefully. The reward for learning Torah is the running to learn Torah. Now listen to this very carefully what Rashi says, Rabotai. Now I looked into the Mesivta. You have Achronim, you have other rabbis that disagree with Rashi, but let me just try to explain what Rashi says, and I'll tell you what they say. But listen how severe this is, Rabotai. What does it mean, b'milchata shel Torah? You know what it means, b'milchata shel Torah? When you learn the Gemara, when you learn the Rashi, when you learn the Shulchan Aruch, whatever you're learning, You have to be able to do it over and over again where it's going to be good by you. Because Rabotai, if it's not good by you, if it's not clear by you, forget about it, Rabotai. Let me rephrase that. If you don't know what the rabbi is teaching, you're just sitting there like a devolver, like at the wall, like listening, like, yeah, I did my best, good. You're going to get reward for coming to shul. You won't get the reward for learning Torah. Because to get reward for learning Torah, number one, you have to understand what the rabbi says. And it's brought down Masechet Eruvin. Let me just see something. It's brought down Masechet Eruvin. 1 second. Boys, let me read for you inside. Here we go. Rabotai, there's a whole process that goes on how a person has an obligation to learn minimum 4 times the Torah, that his rabbi has to teach minimum 4 times, is like this. Alright, maybe I should tell you guys. Okay, I'll tell it like this. Let me tell you outside, really quick. Let's see on the time. I'm so sorry. Okay. Rabotai, we feel, again, I want to, remember, we're still touching upon the topic. What does it mean, Milchamta Shel Torah? What does it mean, war? To be learning, to be toiling in Torah like you're battle, like you're waging a war. What does that mean, Rabotai? So, in Masechet Eruvin brought down Daf Nun Daled Amud Bet, says over there that minimum, Rabotai, I'm not speaking about anything. I'm speaking about to be able to understand what the Torah is telling you, teaching you. Minimum, you have to do it 4 times. I'll read for you the language of the Gemara said, but just give me a second. The Gemara brings down over there that how do we know that the oral Torah that we have, how do we know that the Torah that we have, how did we receive it, how did it go down to from Moshe to etc. etc. I'm going to tell you like this. So it says that Moshe Rabbeinu accepted the Torah from Hashem. So Moshe accepted the Torah from Hashem. He went and he taught it to Aharon. When he taught the Torah to Aharon, he taught the whole Torah to Aharon. Afterwards, Aharon went to Moshe's left side. Came Elazar and Itamar, they came inside also. Now Moshe Rabbeinu went again and he taught them the second time, meaning to them the first time, second time to Aharon, because now he hears it the second time. Continues the Gemara says, it's a machloket if Aharon went to the right side and the kids went to the left, or the kids went to the left and Aharon, meaning the one kid went to the right, one kid went to the left, and Aharon stayed to the left. It's a machloket in the Gemara. Continues the Gemara says, then the Zekenim entered, the elders entered. Moshe Rabbeinu taught them the Torah. Comes out that the Aharon by now has 3 times that he heard Moshe Rabbeinu, same Torah over and over, 3 times. The children heard it 2 times. The elders, they heard it 1 time. The elders, they moved to the side of Moshe Rabbeinu. Now comes the whole nation. Comes the whole nation, Moshe Rabbeinu teaches them that Torah again. Comes out of here that Aharon by now heard it 4 times. His children heard it 3 times. The Zekenim heard it 2 times. The nation, heard it 1 time. Moshe Rabbeinu takes leave. Aharon goes back and he teaches his children, the Zekenim, and the nation. Comes out that the children heard it 4 times after Aharon taught it to them. The elders heard it 3 times. And the nation heard it 2 times. Aharon leaves since the children heard it 4 times. Now they go ahead and they teach the elders and the nations alone. Elazar and Itamar teach the elders and the nation alone. The elders heard it 4 times. The nation heard it 3 times. Now the children leave. The elders turn around and now they teach the nation. That means now they even heard it 4 times. Comes out of here, Aharon, Elazar and Itamar, the Zekenim, and the and the nation, all of Israel, heard the learning of the Torah from Moshe Rabbeinu, and Aharon, of course, together, 4 times each. Now that we have that background, Rabotai, we can understand what Masechet Eruvin says. Comes over here, the Gemara says, Mikan, from over here you're going to learn out, Amar Rabbi Eliezer says, Chayav Adam lishnot letalmido 4 pa'amim. A teacher, Rabotai, is obligated to teach a student minimum 4 times. For Kal v'chomer, it's a Kal v'chomer. How much more so? Uma Aharon, Rabotai, if Aharon needed 4 times, who did he hear it from? You know, it was without any intro, it was direct. Hashem spoke to Moshe. Moshe gave it to Aaron. It's not a broken telephone, it was direct. He didn't need to hear more than one time. Moshe Rabbeinu is the one who's teaching it to him. He heard direct from Hashem. There's no broken telephone, basically. He says, Uma Aaron, shelamad mipi Moshe, Moshe mipi agvuru kach. If Rabotai Aaron, that he learned from the mouth of Moshe, and Moshe learned from the mouth of Hashem, he has to learn it 4 times. Hediot mipi hediot al achat kamo. When you deal Rabotai with a regular person that did not hear it from Hashem, how much more so, before we even could continue, how much more so you have to teach your student 4 times the same thing before you could continue? I'm not talking about Rabotai. For them, 4 times minimum. The Gemara continues if they don't understand. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, right here. Rabbi Akiva Omer, Minayin, and also Halakha and Shulchan Aruch, Rabotai, Minayin shechayav adam l'shon l'talmido, ad shilmedenu. Shenemar v'lamda et b'nei Yisrael. Rabotai, listen to this carefully. From where do we know, Rabbi Akiva says, that a person has to teach a student until he learns, not even 4 times. He doesn't understand after the 4 times. Should the rabbi continue? No, he has to go back 10 times, 20 times, 30 times. Like Rav Preda, the Gemara brings us a story with Rav Preda. 400 times he had a student that he would do it with. At one point the student didn't get it, he went back and he did it another 400 times. Rabotai, this is what means learn Torah. This is what means Melchamta Shel Torah. You go back and you teach your student again. You don't understand, you tell yourself again, over and over and over until you get it. You don't understand it, you write it. You can't understand it again, say it again. Review it again. But no, Rabotai. Oh, what? I got it, I didn't understand. Okay, but I did it! I did the daf! I did it! What? What'd you do? Did you understand the ayat? Come on, you know? No, but I did it. Rabotai, kol hakol. This all this is nice. But we have to be honest with ourselves, Rabotai. Have that schedule. Do whatever you want to do. But have a serious program of learning also Torah, Rabotai. You might tell me I have no time. That's not true, Rabotai. Look at your screen time. It'll tell you how much time you have. Rabotai, the Gemara goes on to bring the importance of how you have to teach the students Torah. I said, Rabotai, this is why I loved Rabbi Wolkin, the father. This is why Rabotai, and that's how it was by him. Until everybody didn't understand, he didn't move forward. And that's why Rabotai, everybody that left Rabbi Wolkin, at least 90% of them, Rabotai, became, or better yet, people that stuck with him, became Rabbanim, opened up communities, know how to learn, know how to teach. People that decided to leave and don't know Rabotai. Today maybe they know how to read from the Siddur, if it's not transliteration. Rabotai, we have these Talmidei Chacham, why not use them? Why not take advantage? Hashem put angels in our midst. Why not use them? So Rabotai, after we know that the person has to, minimum 4 times you have to learn. What do we think? We just go, we listen, okay, I got the halach, okay, yes. No, it doesn't work like that, Rabotai. A person has to really sit and break his head. So let me show what Maseh Berachot says. Amar Rabbi Zera said, Agil dipika rihata. The reward for learning is the running. Why? Rashi says, Ikar kibul tzachar habriot haratim l'shmol derasha mipi hacham hischar hamirutza. The main reward that the people are going to get when they run to hear a drasha from the Talmid Chacham's mouth is the reward for running. What? One more time. Ikar kibul tzachar. The main reward for learning Torah from a Talmid Chacham is the reward for running. I'm sitting there an hour, 2 hours. You want to tell me I'm not learning Torah? Why? Why did he only get reward for learning Torah? Here we go, Rabotai. Shaharei Rubam, because majority of them einam mivinim lahamid girsa velomar shemu mipi rabam la'achar zman. Because majority of them, Rabotai, are not going to be able to understand and to go back and reteach, or better yet, to say what the rabbi said after 1 week, after 2 weeks. They're not. In order for them to get the reward for learning Torah. You want to get the reward for learning Torah? You got to break your head about that. That's learning Torah. When you're able to repeat what the rabbi says. Now don't say, Rabbi, I remember from one-time memorization. Rabbotai, it's good if you have one-time memorization. So the Gemara says, chayav. A person obligated to learn minimum 4 times. And that's if you pay attention to any Rashi you take. If you take any Rashi, this is both sides of Rashi, but when you take Rashi, minimum it has 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell you, Rabotai, do not consider the daf, do not go to the next daf unless you do it 4 times. Today, Rabotai, it became so easy, Baruch Hashem. You know, Blaine Har, what the Rabbanim, what they do, they go out of their way. You know, I told you before, they spend hours to prepare a daf and they give it to you very easy. Today, you have this thing that's called play, pause, stop. You could go back, re-listen again and again and again and again. You didn't understand it, go back again. You didn't understand that rabbi, no problem. Go listen to another rabbi. You don't understand that rabbi, good. Go look into the book. You have art school. You have so much. Rabotai, there's so much books. There's so much Torah. Why are we not utilizing it, Rabotai? So this is what Rashi says here. Now again, I told you before, the Mesifta, it brings down other Achronim. That's every when it says Ikar Kibbutz, the main reward, you're not going to get. You get the reward for learning Torah, but the main reward you're not going to get. Rabotai, however you want to look at it, I can't argue on the Achronim. But to tell me that if I have to come out, or if I have to go in the morning to learn Torah early in the morning, and go late at night to learn Torah, and it's hard for me, and you want to say, I'm not going to get the Ikar Torah because I'm tired, because I want to eat my food, or because I'm not paying attention, so why am I wasting my time? I got reward for coming to shul. I got reward for taking, for running, for the steps that I took there. Somebody told me, I do this during the Shabbat, so somebody told me, during the Kiddush, somebody said to me, Rabbi, today you don't even have the mitzvah of running because everybody just takes the car to the shul. He's also technically right, because you're driving to shul. Yeah, you lose that mitzvah also, unfortunately. Or unless those 4-5 steps that you go before you go into the shul, unless you park a block away. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, that's a very big problem, Rabotai. So therefore, a person should see to it. A person should really see to it, Rabotai, to go ahead and try to make a learning schedule. You want to do Daf Yomi, do Daf Yomi. You want to do Mishnah Yomi, do Mishnah Yomi. Whatever you want to do, Rabotai, do. Have easy learning. But at the same time, Rabotai, go back over that learning. Do it on your own time. It's recorded, pre-recorded, whatever. You have it there. Why not go and take advantage of the technology that we have today? Rabotai, I want to show you something over here also. In Masechet Aaron Daf Nun Gimel Amud Bet, again, Rabotai, the Melchama when it comes to learning Torah is not only Rabotai and learn. There's so many aspects to the war that we face around us. We have to say no to our wives. I have to go learn. I can help you. That's normal. It's fine, Rabotai. You want to help your wife, you help your wife do at work hours. When you have lunch break, you help your wife. When you're home, you help your wife. But once you have a set schedule, you have 8:30 to 9:30, you go to yeshiva. That's how it works, Rabotai. We want the war to stop. There's only one way to do it. You don't want to have problems. There's only one way to do it, Rabotai, and that's through a Mele B'Torah. I want to read for you over here something in Masechet Aaron Daf Nun Gimel Amud Bet. He says over here, the Gemara brings us, says, Rabbi Yosef Galili have a ka'azil be'urcha. Rabbi Yosef Galili was walking on the way. Ashkechel l'Beruria. Rabbi Meir's wife's Beruria found him. Amallah, he said to her, Be'eze derech nilech lilod. To which way do you have to go to Lod? It was a city. Amraleh, but that's what she said to him. Beruria said this to Rabbi Yosef Galili. Amraleh, she said to him, Galili shoteh. Galili, you're full. But didn't the Chachamim teach us not like that? What do you mean? What do they teach us? But didn't the Chachamim teach us, Rabotai, Al tarbeh sicha im ha'isha. You're not allowed to increase to speak with a woman, Rabotai. Somehow today, Rabotai, husbands have somehow they. Rabotai, I don't know who's watching. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't care, Rabotai, but we need to know there's a fact. I have no time to learn Torah, but somehow he comes out of the shul, he speaks to the woman 1 hour, an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours. What's pshat? She's not even your wife. What's pshat? Why are you speaking to another woman that's not your wife? Brewery is telling Rabbi Yosef, that's not, you're not allowed to speak to another woman. Do not increase, not allowed to speak. Do not increase, speak to her a lot. So what did Rabbi Yosef do wrong? So she tells him, you should have said like this. Why did you have to say Be'eze derech nelech lelot? He added 2 words. He should have said which way to Lud, not which is the way that I have to go to Lud. What 2 words you call him a shoteh? Then who are we, Rabotai? Who are we that we speak how much We have all the time in the world. We have a big problem, Rabotai. So if you look into Likutei Rashi, there's a Rashi, there's also Likutei Rashi, the small font, which is basically to the margin which is inside. The Likutei Rashi says over there, he brings something even fascinating. Rabotai, you have to understand, I'm saying I'm going to be very careful the way I read this, because women, Rabotai, need to know what does it mean to allow their husbands to learn Torah. Now, I understand, Rabotai, you have women that do want their husbands to learn Torah, and their husbands are bummed and they don't want to learn Torah. That's a different story. I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking about the people that ask me, Rabbi, Shalom Bayit, Shalom Bayit, Shalom Bayit. What Shalom Bayit, Rabotai? You think these women in Israel that their husbands are fighting war, that they'll never see them again, you think they care about your Shalom Bayit right now? You think they have that option? You have that option. We don't feel Rabotai their pain. That's our problem. My wife needs me at home to help her. And what are you going to do? I have to put the kids. And so what's your wife going to do? She's going to be on Twitter, on Instagram. She has to make sure the whole world is taken care of. That's why you have to be home, Rabotai. Rabotai, the roles have changed. I don't know how it became like this. The wife became the man, the husband became the woman. I'm not telling you not to help your wife. Get all the help you want, Rabotai, but don't do it during learning hours. Don't do it during learning hours. Reschedule your day where you learn, where it's not going to interfere with your wife. You have to put your kids to sleep 8:30, no problem. Go to learn 9:30. You have to put your kids 9:30, go to learn 7:30. You can't do that. Go to learn 11:30. I don't care when, Rabotai, but make a time to learn Torah. What's going to be with your own mabah? Rabotai, listen what it says. What does it mean, Altar Besichai Ma'isha? What does it mean, Rabotai? We know over here, let me just bring you the source. Brings down in Misor Tashas, Imo Sofot. In Od Gimel, it says in Pirkei Avot, Perik Aleph, Mishnah Hey. Also brings down the Dorm, Dav Chaf, Amud Aleph. Rabotai, the Likutei Rashi says like this. Altar Besichai Ma'isha. Do not speak a lot with your wife. Not with your Michla. Altar Besichai Ma'isha. Do not speak a lot. More than you have to with a woman. Still, Likutei Rashi says, Va'afilu hi ishtecha. Even if she's your own wife, do not speak to her a lot. What was that? I thought I've been told this whole time, all the way around. I thought I have to speak to my wife hours upon hours. Shalom Bayit, Rabbi. No, Rabotai, he says we're just the opposite. Va'afilu hi ishtecha. You can speak to your wife. What? Friday is not enough. Saturday you with her is not enough. Sunday at night you with her is not enough, Rabotai. All of a sudden comes to Torah. Oh, my wife needs me. By myself, Rabotai. But when it comes to go to Atlantic City, when it comes to go all these places where you're not supposed to be, somehow you go. No problem. Your wife says no, you still go. You don't anyway, Rabotai. All this is shtiyot. All these excuses people make. It's just sick and tired of these things. Rabotai says like this. Even if she's your wife, you should not increase. You shouldn't talk to her a lot. Why? Lefi she'ata mitbatel midivri Torah. Because you are not being mivatel from learning Torah. You're nullifying from learning Torah. That's a very big problem. You're supposed to be cashing in, Rabotai, to your Olam Haba, Olam Hazeh. You're able to protect Am Yisrael with the Torah that you're learning. Your wife, your family. And what are you doing? Yeah. Oh, you heard what happened to my neighbor? Oh, you heard what happened over there? How much can you speak about other people what happened, Rabotai? You know, somebody one time showed something fascinating. They do these shows, and I don't know, in Vegas or in other places where they have this, they rent out these arenas, and they have these shows for 3 days. They pay 50,000, I don't know, jewelry, whatever. They said, Rabotai, they're from the morning till the night, since they're paying every second their money, every second. That's the only time they can make them, like, the majority of the money comes in then. They don't waste time from nothing, Rabotai. They don't know, no wife. They leave family behind just to go make money 3 days. When was the last time, Rabotai, we left our wives and children to go and learn the basic measures for 1 hour? For 2 hours. I'm not telling you 3 days. I'm not telling you 3 months. I'm not telling you 24 years. Rabotai, 1 hour. 1 hour a day, what's going to be right, Rabotai? That's what he says over here. That's one reason, number one, he tells you. The reason why you shouldn't speak a lot with your wife. Forget about another woman. Another woman, there's nothing more to talk about, Rabotai. Your own wife, you shouldn't talk a lot. Or he says, there's another problem you have. Why? Because men became women today. Another problem. שאם באת להרבות עמה דברים, תבוא לספר לה המחלוקות שעשית עם חברך. You know what's going to end up happening? Because when a guy speaks to his wife, He started telling her his problems that happened to him at work, the arguments that he got with his partners at work, whatever that might be. V'da'atan shel nashim kalha. I don't know how to say this nicely, Rabotai Alan. I don't know how to. I don't know. Should I say women are very gullible? Should I say women are very easily influenced? I don't know. It says over here that woman's mind, they're very lightheaded. I don't know how to explain to you in any other way. And the wife is going to listen. Oh, he spoke to my husband. Yeah, women like to stand up for their husbands. And what she's going to do, she's going to now fight with the friend that you fought. She's going to go fight with his wife. It comes out that she brought her to embarrassment, but that's another problem. This is the way it's explained in Avod Rabbi Natan, which is brought from Eretz Yisrael. The Rabbi Natan shel Tzarfat, he says, someone will learn from Avod Rabbi Natan from Tzarfat. They will learn, no, they speak about you shouldn't speak a lot with which kind of woman? With your wife when she's in Nida. Why? Because we do not want you to stumble with her to sin. But he says over here that even if your wife is tahor, you're allowed to be with her. Do not talk to her a lot more than you have to. Why? Because again, Rabbatai, come back to that same point. Because you are mevatel by you speaking more than you have to your wife, you are taking away from learning Torah. Rabbatai, you need to understand. I do not know how to make this more real than it is. You need to understand when you're not learning Torah, you're not cashing in. That's the problem. So if you're telling me that it's okay that when you have a full line of customers and it's given every single day of the week to close the store in front of all the customers and just say, oh, my wife is not phone, let me speak to her. I don't know when the last time somebody did that, Rabotai. It doesn't work, Rabotai. When you're a business, even when your own wife calls, yeah, you give her the 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever you can give her, but then you got to get back to work. Why do you get back to work? Because you understand the mortgage has to be paid. The car insurance has to be paid. The lease has to be paid. The tuition has to be paid. Food has to be put on the table. And what do you think? There's no mortgage to pay in the next world? What do you think? You're just going to walk in there? Hey, I'm here. I'm ready. Where am I placed in Olam Haba? Or you think the rabbi is going to say in the Yeshua, Joisha, next to Moshe Rabbeinu. What's this? Rabotai Baba Maises. What Moshe Rabbeinu? Know what you have to do to reach Moshe Rabbeinu's level? Be happy, Rabotai, if you guys get in Gehenom, Moshe Rabbeinu, please. Rabotai, we're so foolish, Rabotai. We buy all the stories. We buy everything the rabbis tell us. Rabotai, it's so sad. So sad we don't even realize that we're destroying our Olam Haba with our own bare hands. This is an opportunity that you have that you're able to cash in. Why aren't we cashing in? Why are we playing games, Rabotai? And then tomorrow, bam, something happens, person dies, you come to the next world. What do you think? Somebody's going to stop? You think somebody's going to wait for you? Oh no, this guy's an important person. Don't take him. It's too early. Not Rabotai. Death doesn't, Gemara says, but I think also Masachet, death doesn't wait for nobody, Rabotai. Death does not wait for anybody. That time comes, But then it's too late to do anything, Rabotai. You can do the shul, you can atone for all your sins. But the problem is, Rabotai, you lost out. You lost out on everything that you would have been able to cash in. On all the mitzvah, on all the chesed, on all the Torah that you could have learned. That's why, Rabotai, that's all. What the Or HaChaim Kodesh is saying. Why did the Amalek fight with us? Why did the Amalek fight with us? Why did they fight the Refidim? Why there's no other place? Because they were lazy, Rabotai. When it came to it, they were not learning. This is what I'm trying to bring out over here. This is the point of this is a real war. This is a war between us when it comes to learning Torah. Rabotai, when it comes to learning Torah, you should see nothing but the goal of Torah. Nothing else exists. Rabotai, I don't know if people know who the Chavetz Chaim was. The Chavetz Chaim, Rabotai, even him, such a tzaddik, such a humongous tzaddik, Talmud Chacham, a gadol hador, even a giant in his generation, a giant even in all generations, Rabotai. Even him, Rabotai, he used to lock himself up, and when his wife would come and say, we have customers, he would tell them that he's dead. Because when it comes to learning Torah, you're not alive. All you know is the Torah and Hashem. Rabotai, you learn Torah, you have Hashem. You learn Torah, you have all the barachot. It says in Masechet Barachot that if a person wants to have barachot in his house, blessing in his house, you should invite Talmidei Chacham into your house. So I was teaching this Gemara, I said, this is what the Gemara says, Rabotai. But how much more so, Rabotai? If you want to have blessings in your house, become that Talmud Chacham. learn the Torah. You in your house, your wife believe in her, your children, they get berachot from the father being a Talmid Chacham. What, that's something bad, Rabotai? That's something bad? People speak about, oh, this guy's a lawyer, this guy's a doctor, this guy made money. Rabotai, this guy's a Talmid Chacham. People, when something happens, Rabotai, nobody wants to doctors or lawyer. No, Rabotai. When something happens, nobody can help. Who do they run to? The rabbis. You get blessing from rabbis. Why rabbis, Rabotai? Why rabbis? Go to your doctor, get a blessing from him. Rabotai, I want to read for you one more piece. Masech Shabbat. In Daf Lamed Gimel Amud Bet. The question started over here. It says that the Chachamim, they taught that there's 4 signs, Rabotai, that there's certain signs that happen to people that get sick from certain things, lo aleinu chas v'shalom, because of certain things that they do. So I'll give you one example. It says over here, when a person has seen at when a person hates another Jew for no reason, he has yerakon, this jaundice. Yeah, when he becomes yellow. Siman legasut haruach. A sign when a person is horrible about how's Hashem going to punish him, and you is going to make him poor. Simon lelashon hara askara. If a person speaks lashon hara, he says askara. It's a type of sickness, Rabotai. Rashi explains this to mean that the sickness starts, the swelling starts in the intestines, in the stomach, and the swelling goes all the way up to a person's throat. Since it's swelling up, Rabotai, it's very simple to understand. The pipe where he breathes from, it closes. He dies because he cannot breathe. So the Gemara says there's a machlok, someone will say that askara, the sickness that starts, the swelling that starts from the stomach, and it chokes a person, it goes straight to the throat and it chokes him and it kills him. Someone will learn it comes because of maaser, because people did not give the trumot maaser, the 1%, the 10%, etc., to the Kohen, to the Levi, etc., whatever it was. Someone will learn is because of lashon hara, etc. Rabotai, over here I want to read for you what the opinion of Rabbi Shimon is, why askara came to the world, why the sickness, Rabotai, came to, why people die from askara. He says to me like this, Na'ana Rabbi Shimon ve'amar. Rabbi Shimon answered and he said, the reason why askara comes to the world, be'avon bitul Torah, because of the sin of bitul Torah. When a person nullifies, when he's able to learn Torah and he does not learn Torah, Rabotai, I just didn't say before, I should say now maybe. You know, a person goes ahead and goes to class, there's nothing more worse. It's one thing when you're at home. It's another thing when you come to class, you take the phone, while the rabbi is teaching, you're text messaging. Or you look at your WhatsApp, or you look at whatever it is. Rabotai, there's no greater form of bitul Torah there, unless you're a Hatzalah member, unless you're a doctor. I don't know why you're on your phone when the rabbi is teaching, when you're learning those sweet words of Torah. Why are you doing anything else when the rabbi is teaching? Rabotai, so he says with the askara, people die, Rabotai, from askara because of the sin of bitul Torah, of not learning Torah, nullifying Torah. When they can learn Torah, they don't learn Torah. Amru lo, so the Chachamim said to Rabbi Shimon, one second, that's not true. Nashim yochichu. Women are going to prove it. Women are going to be the case that are going to prove that you're wrong. Why? Because women are not obligated to learn Torah, and still they die from askara. So according to you, if women die, if the askara came to the world because of avon bitul Torah, so why do women get punished for it? Rashi says, Rabotai, she'enam mitzuvot al divrei Torah, they're not commanded in learning Torah, because the pasuk says, "V'limadetem otam et benechem, v'lo benotechem." You should teach your sons and not your daughters. Umitot be'askara, but they do die from askara. You know what Rabbi Shimon answered them? Shemevatlot et ba'alehem. Do you know why women die from this sickness that's called askara chas v'shalom? Because they nullify their husbands from learning Torah. So Rabotai, what should I do, Rabotai? Should I change Chas v'shalom? Should I change the Torah? I'm not punishing the Torah. So when a woman thinks that she's smart, if she's that type of woman, I know there's women that allow their husbands to learn Baruch Hashem, but if a woman thinks she's smart by holding her husband back from learning Torah, she should know she's bringing a disease upon herself that's going to kill her, surely but slowly, Rabotai. It's askar, it's a sickness will starts in the stomach, swells up, goes to the throat, clogs up the throat. Is that worth it, Rabotai? Is that worth it for the woman just because she needs the husband, Rabotai? Again, there might be exceptions when by med, there are exceptions. Still doesn't allow you to nullify that hour of learning Torah. You still have to make it. You have to make up that hour. But Rabotai, but we see the severity of what does it mean not to learn Torah. And that's what Rabbi Shimon is saying. Because they hold their husbands back from learning Torah. That's why a wife has to know the importance of trying to. What does it mean, Rabotai? What does it mean when He created Adam and Chava, they created together, right? It depends from the back, from the tail, doesn't matter, Rabotai. But when Hashem made Chava, Rabotai says, Ezer Kenegdo. He meant that she should be a helper for him or against him. How you learn, it depends. If she allows him to grow in Avodat Hashem, because as long as he's growing, she's growing. That's a helper for him. But if she doesn't allow him, Rabotai, that's Ezer Kenegdo. She's going against him. But Rabotai, when you don't allow your husbands to learn Torah, it comes out, it backfires on you. Now, this is a sickness, Chas V'Shalom, Rabotai, that goes on the woman. But Avon of Bittul Torah, Rabotai, there's many things that come, and children can be punished for it. Chas V'Shalom, I do not want to, we're going to see it right now also, but children can get punished from it. A person can lose his parnasa because of that. There's many things, Rabotai, because of the Avon Bittul Torah. You have to understand, Torah it's a gift that was given to us by Hashem. And by us not learning it, Chacham Avad used to say, he used to give this analogy like this. He said, can you imagine a woman, she comes from a royal family. All her life, her father was giving her Bentley, Mercedes, whatever it was. Comes a husband, and the husband goes out of his way. She married a guy who's a peasant, but he works hard, and he worked hard, and he bought her a car which is below that level. She says, "I don't need your car. I'm gonna walk because I'm accustomed to a higher lifestyle." So basically, she's spitting in her husband's face. But I do not want to compare the two cases, Chas V'Shalom. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, I took the Torah and I created the world and everything in it from the Torah. And I gave this gift to you, the Torah, so you guys can use it. And what do you guys do, Rabotai? You guys leave my Torah and you go and you cheat with me on somebody else, on your iPhones and on your TVs and all the parties and everything that you go and you do, and you leave me, Hashem says. Is that not disrespectful? And that's, Rabotai, what we do. When Hashem gave us the Torah, which is so beautiful, we leave the Torah just to go for something very, very insignificant compared to the Torah. That's what, Rabotai, it's a very big punishment. It's not a joke. Comes the Gemara says, okay, fine, if you want to tell me the woman, they mevatel their husbands from learning Torah, no problem. He says, what about Nochrim Yochichu Goim? Goim also die from the sickness of Askara. They don't have an obligation to learn Torah. He says, no. Shimevatlin et Yisrael, no, because the Goim, they put taxes, they make our lives difficult. For them, they're going to be punished. Because of them, we're not able to learn the Torah the way we're supposed to. The Gemara says, I don't get it. No problem. Tinikot Yochichu, what about small children? Rashi says, She'ena b'nei libu, children are not able to learn still. Why they also loleinu chasrom die from the sickness of askara loleinu. So what is there, Rabotai? He answered them. Rashi says, Amalahem avhem ba'avon shemavatlin et avihem loholichan lechamav v'letzonen ulepaisan be'eguzim. Rabbi Shimon says, no, also the children are punished because they take away their fathers from learning Torah by asking them, let's go to the sun, let's go to the shade, basically. Let's play with walnuts, whatever. That was the games that they had back then. But Rabotai, we see over here how severe this thing gets. Now again, I'm not telling you not to spend time with your wife. I'm not telling you not to spend time with your children. But like the saying goes, there is a time and place for everything. You have time to eat, you eat. You have time to work, you work. You have time to be with the family, you're with the family. You have time to pray, it's time to pray. When it comes time to learn Rabotai, we need to start learning. Because this is the only thing, Rabotai. If you guys can see the whole world, Rabotai, how much there's Torah beyond comprehension. Torah everywhere on the web, fly everywhere, Rabotai. But still, we see what the Rav Chaim Igal says. I want to read these words again. The words are very beautiful. He says, because we did not toil in the war of the Torah. If they, Rabotai, are fighting the war out there, we should be fighting the war inside over here. Make it your business. And you'll see, Rabotai, within a few short weeks. I would love to say about a few short weeks, but you'll see over some short time, you'll feel different. You will have a different sense of existence. Your wife will be happy. Your children, you'll see things are going to be changing for you, Rabotai. There's an Aruch HaShulchan that says, I think also was in Simon Rich, involved probably. Aruch HaShulchan says, anybody who learns Torah at night, because during the day it's easier, at night is much harder, because people are tired, but anybody who learns Torah at night, he said, you should know nichasim, your assets are going to profit. Everything's going to go up, Rabotai. You don't understand the Torah, what it does for the Jew, what it does for Am Yisrael. We need to give everything we got to be able to help our brothers and sisters all over the world, Rabotai, especially in Israel. Don't look at the situation as it's something normal. You know, there's a rabbi in Israel. You know, somebody said, you know, everybody's living their life, everybody's continuing living their life. They became used to the whole war thing. So I don't want to say the rabbi's name because I don't know if I have permission to say his name. So the rabbi said, I don't understand. How can a person become accustomed to war? If a person has a sick family member in the house, a mother, a father, a child, Rabotai, that's bedridden, he can't move, he can't get up, you could become accustomed to such a thing? Do you know how much a person does to come out of the situation? He davens to Hashem. He learns more Torah. He gives more tzedakah. He takes the child to the doctor, Hashem. He sees what's wrong with the mother or the father. He has attended. You know, there's no peace of mind, Rabotai. How do we become so accustomed? Okay, it's the norm. Rabotai, don't make it the norm. We do not want the situation to become more worse than it is already. And there's one way by doing it, Rabotai. And that's taken upon each one of us should take upon himself is what I would like to call, Rabotai, a project. A project of learning Torah. You want to do Daf Yomi, it's nice to do it, no problem. You want to do Mishnah Yomi, it's nice to do it. But do it on one condition, Rabotai. Try to understand the material that you're learning. After you heard it from the rabbi, if you still didn't understand the material, while you're driving to work, there you go, 45 minutes. When you're eating lunch, you got another 45 minutes or an hour, whatever you guys have. When you're driving back, you have another 45 minutes. Rabotai, so already you have 2.5 hours during the day of learning Torah by doing nothing, Rabotai. And the secret is in becoming a Talmid Chacham is not only moving forward. Like the Gemara says, Rabotai, you got to go back and you got to review what you learned. And this way you won't forget what you learned. And you're always building on what you already have. And you're building. And that's how you become big Talmid Chacham. And in this way, Rabotai, B'ezrat Hashem should send us a salvation. The war should stop in Israel. The captives should be brought back. You know, somebody told me that people in Israel, that the ones that are still captives, some parents, wives, or children, you know, they can't go to sleep. They really cannot go to sleep. Why can't they go to sleep? Because how can it be that their father is in captivity, or the mother's in captivity? Who knows? Only God knows what they're doing to her. Or the children are in captivity. And they can't sleep. But we could sleep, Rabotai. We could sleep. And if that was Chas v'Shalom, Rabotai, your father, your brother, or your mother, or your sister, or your own child, would you be able to sleep? You wouldn't be able to sleep. The least we can do, Rabotai, is take away our sleep from our eyes when it comes to learn Torah. Increase, Rabotai. Go ahead. Delve into the Torah. Rabotai, it's a zechut to be able to learn Torah. You know, people don't realize, people think that they're doing Hashem a favor. No, Rabotai. It says in the, let me see if I can find it over here. Okay. You know, whenever we finish learning, there's a prayer that we say. When we finish learning everything towards the end of the day, we say this prayer. We say, Modeh ani lefanech, right? Hashem, right? I thank before you. Hashem Elokai v'Elokei avotai, right? Hashem, our forefather, right? Hashem, our God, our forefathers. Shesamte chelki miyoshrei beit hamedrash, that you placed my portion with the people that sit and learn Torah in the base medrash. Rabotai, what do you mean that I have to thank you, Hashem, that you placed my portion? Yes, Rabotai. Because to learn Torah, you have to have a zechut. So whenever you think you get pulled over here, pulled over there, and you can't come to learn Torah, that means you have no zechut to listen to the words of Torah. There's a Shabbat Hashem Bar Yochai Rabotai. I don't recall where it is. Don't have to really quote me on this. But I've seen it many years ago. You have people that they come to the shul between Mincha and Aravit. Right? For Mincha they come and they say Kaddish. And in Aravit, they come, right before Aravit, they come back to say another Kaddish for the words of the Torah. But in the middle of the Torah, they always come outside and they stand outside. So they think, why do we have to listen to the words of Torah? Why do I have to listen to this rabbi? For example, Rabotai, if I can't recall it right now, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, it's not why they can't listen to words of Torah. The Torah is spitting them out of the shul because they don't have the zuchut to listen to the Torah. People need to realize, Rabotai, to learn Torah, it's a zuchut. Just like it's a merit to be a Jew and to go in Avodat Hashem, it's a merit to learn Torah. Take advantage of it, Rabotai. Enjoy it. Love it. Because one day is going to come, Rabotai, the end of all people, like Shlomo Melech says, the end of an animal is the slaughterhouse. The end of a person, Rabotai, is death. Do not waste your time on trivial things. Try to make a difference in your life and the lives of other people. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.